Every conversation tells a story, and the best ones begin with honesty, courage, and a little curiosity. That's where Elsa Kurt comes in. She's an author, podcaster, and independent media personality, and this is where she brings real life to the table. Authors, thinkers, creators, leaders, everyday folks with extraordinary journeys. We sit down, we dig in, and we talk about what matters, what's messy, what's beautiful, and what just might inspire you to look at the world a little differently. So pour a cup of something good, settle back and join me. This is Elsa Kurt Interviews, where truth has a seat and everyone's welcome.
Well, hello, my friends. We have a special interview for you today. I will be talking with Elizabeth Harris, and it is going to be such a fun interview and so enlightening, and I'm so excited for you. Here's a little bit about Elizabeth.
From the quiet ache of grief to the steady glow of hope, Elizabeth Harris has walked a road that reshaped her faith and deepened her understanding of love. In her book, Letters to Heaven, she opens her heart with remarkable honesty, inviting us into the conversations that carried her from sorrow to surrender. Today, she joins us to share the journey that transformed her life, her faith, and her calling.
Well, hello there. Welcome to the show. Hello. So I'll give you a little intel, guys. We were just chatting before we came on air. And just so you know, I'm going to be referring to Elizabeth as Beth. She goes by Beth in casual conversation. And that's what we're going to have. We're going to have a great casual conversation. And I'm so excited to learn about your books and your story. So thank you for joining me today.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. So I kind of want to start in the middle a little bit. And before we even step into your story, I want to talk about the very center. So Letters to Heaven, is such a, I don't know why I said that like that. That's so funny. Wouldn't it be great if we got letters from heaven? Well, we kind of do, right?
Yeah, we do. Yeah, we do.
We do. But it's a vulnerable title. Tell me what that phrase means to you personally, and what moment first sparked the idea for this book.
Well, I grew up in a religious family and felt very disconnected from what I learned. And when I sort of left it all behind and ventured out on my own and fell flat on my face, I tried to reconnect with that. And what started it was the death of my grandfather. It was the first real loss that I had experienced up to that point, and I was already in a really dark place of despair. And then when he died, I made a choice. I could have gone deeper into the pit of despair and depression, or I could write my way out of it. So with Letters to Heaven, so with Grandpa, I just didn't know what to do. I needed to connect with him. I needed to know he was alive. I needed to believe in the promise as Christians, what we've been told. And so I just found for myself, it was more poignant, perhaps, to write it. Something made it more real by writing it out. And, so it was a letter to heaven. It was a letter to my grandpa in heaven. And that was the start. I realized, there's something here for me. And I'm going to continue this journey of writing letters to heaven, to God too, and find out who God is, what God is, all that.
Yeah. That's such a relatable, emotional journey and experience, because I think ultimately that's what we're all seeking, that relationship and that comfort. And as a fellow writer, I so relate to that need to put it on paper, to just crystallize the thoughts, because our thoughts, right? Like you're in your head, everything it's fighting with so many other thoughts in your head. And it's like, if you put it on paper, it just clarifies everything, doesn't it?
Yes, it does. I hadn't done it for a while, and I started to do it again. And it was like, just an old friend. Hello, I'm back.
Yes, yes. Oh, such an incredible feeling. I recommend to anyone to give that a try, even if you don't think you're a writer. You don't even need to be a writer, right?
Yeah,
like
I wasn't trying to be a writer when I did it, right? It was just.
Oh, that's so fascinating too. That it wasn't even a thought in your head that this was just such a personal experience that you needed to have, and it's just incredible. The letters themselves, they are, of course, by nature, very intimate and like prayers almost like a conversation that you were brave enough to to let the world overhear. And that's such a vulnerable experience. Did you believe in your heart and your mind, did you feel like you were talking to God then, or did it just feel like you were putting words out into the universe? Like, how did it feel to be doing that?
Initially, it was putting words down. But again, as I started to write, it wasn't like an instant connection. And I realized how fed I was from it. And I often went back to them during moments of anguish and, was nourished by it again. And that's where I, at one point, was like, well, would other people be? Maybe.
Yeah. So what a generous, beautiful thought to have too, to think that your own grief and journey with it could help someone else. It's such a giving heart. I love that so much.
I try.
Yeah. Oh, succeeding so well at that. So many people writing through grief end up discovering truths that they didn't expect. And I know in my own writing, not necessarily just with grief or sadness or pain or loss, kind of anything, that writing experience, I end up finding out things when I reread that, and I discover things that I didn't even realize that I was putting down on paper. Did you find that you were surprised by anything that you wrote when you went back and read it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Actually, I was. I'm like, wow, did that come out? I was going to say that came out of me, but it's more that came through me, just really trying to sit and listen to the Holy Spirit. And especially in sort of the more nature sections of the book, where I begin to see God in nature. And I was like, wow. That was really cool. Like there's one where I was traveling, and I was at a tropical place, and I was walking through an abandoned property to the beach, and the wind was blowing. And as I walked past this grove of trees, the wind made a different noise. And I thought, I stopped, I backed up, I listened to it again, and here you go back and forth, like, wow. And I thought, wow, nature has its own language. The trees respond, like, it's kind of, I think of it, the Bible verse where it's like you will feel the Spirit like a wind and whatnot. And so it made me think of the impact of the Holy Spirit on other people. You had different trees, and each tree leaf made a different sound in response to the wind. And it just made me think of how different we all are, and how we all have our unique expressions, and how, anyways, but there's a diverse unity that brings harmony in it. And anyways, what was the question again?
Listen, who even cares? I just love hearing what you're saying, because it's really so beautiful. And what I'm hearing coming through you is just this poet's heart and eye and vision and mind, and it's so beautiful. And it actually leads really perfectly to how you actually do blend poetry and prose in a way that feels just like exhaling. And I can hear that as you're remembering it, as you're talking about this nature experience, that like it's just that beautiful exhale of nature, Yeah. And I love that. Why was this the right form for you for this story, instead of, say, a fiction story or, anything else, or just simply a memoir? What was it about poetry and prose and just the letters that made you feel like this is the right way to go? How did you know?
Because of the connection to God. It was, this is just where we met. And I followed my heart in that. God opened my heart in such a huge way. I always thought I had an open heart, but, he showed me that I can always learn a little more, open it even more. But anyways, yeah, so I would have to say it just felt right. And I just followed that lead. Didn't really, again, didn't plan it that way, but it just happened. And it was like, okay, this is what I need to do.
What a good and faithful servant to just step back from what you're thinking and all the noise in your own head, and just to say, just lead me to what's right. And it, to me, I always call myself a learning Christian, because I started so late, and I'm never going to say, and I hope none of us ever stop learning. I mean, we always need to keep
absolutely
learning, right? Like I never not want to be a learning Christian, of course. But I always feel like I'm playing catch up.
Dear,
so it's lovely to hear when somebody else's experience is telling them the same thing that it's telling me, really, like to just basically get out of the way and let yourself be led, and you did that. And by the way, and I don't want to like cheapen this conversation by saying that your reviews are showing that this is a connecting, both books actually are very connecting pieces of work that are resonating with people. It's all 5 stars. So it's like beautiful, that you're getting that kind of response and reaction. And I know you don't need the validation from people, because you get the validation from above. But it's so nice to see, isn't it?
And it is, because like you said, you put yourself out there, you open the doors to your heart, by putting like your diary out there, basically. Yeah. And it is, I'm very grateful when I read a review and someone has been touched by it. It's like, okay, there you have it. That's all I need.
Yeah, it's so beautiful. Did you have any anxiety about publishing, about putting it out there so much?
For years.
Yeah.
I mean, Letters to Heaven was compiled in the 90s. So there you have it.
Wow. Yeah. At what point did you decide? I'm sorry, I interrupted you.
Yeah, that's okay. Go ahead. What point did I decide?
At what point did you decide that you wanted to put it out there? Because you said they were written in the 90s and they were published within the past year. So, like, at what point when was that decision made? That's fascinating to me.
Well, I would say when I realized that it was feeding me, and I don't mean that to sound narcissistic or anything like that. And I started to contemplate the idea of like, well, should I share these? Then it was like, 20-year journey from there. Wow. I started small. Like what I did first of all was I made Apple books, iBooks, for my family, and put them in just like a Christmas gift, and here you go. And then after that, it was like, no, that's not enough. Dang, right? I gotta go more with this. So I started a website, and I put them on that website, and it still wasn't completed. And it's like, okay, so all right, let's do it. Wow. And God gifted me with some funds that I was able to pursue the actual physical publishing of them. So, wow. But it's also, I had to also go through what I went through with my son as well. I think before I was ready, there was a lot of anxiety, a lot of fear about putting myself out there. But thankfully, my son undid all of that. So,
oh yes, they are so good at that. Let's talk about that a little bit, if you don't mind, if you're okay with that. Let's talk about that part of your journey, because you have another book out, and you said, I think you told me that they came out approximately at the same time. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay. Let's talk about that a little bit. Walk me through a little bit of that part of the journey for you.
So when I waited years to have a kid, and I felt like there was one waiting for me, but just wasn't happening. And so the year I was turning 40, I decided to sort of give up on motherhood, and I'll just live vicariously through other people's children, right? Mm-hmm. I'll support them and help that'll be my path. And then within a month of letting that dream go, I got pregnant. And it was like, oh, okay. Yeah. So I started a journal again. I started journaling to my unborn child. And I just thought this would be a memento, but I didn't know if it was a boy or girl, that this child might get a kick out of it one day, or maybe if we're, butting heads, maybe he'll understand his mother, or just see that she's human too, that she gets scared and just, I didn't know what it would be. I just knew I had to start writing. And so I started as soon as I found out I was pregnant, and journaled fairly consistently up until about 2009. I can't remember. Oh, I've got the book right here. I can look.
I love that. I love it. Listen, I'm not above taking a little cheap peek there.
Yeah. So I fairly consistently, and then I stopped writing journaling because I realized that I'm just saying the same thing over and over again. And I really don't need to linger here. It's, so I put down the pen for a long time, picked it up every so often. But yeah, it was, journaling through the birth, and everything seemed fine. Everything was, and then that dawning of, something's wrong. And then that whole journey into despair, depression, but denial was really what it was. And there is one entry in the Dojo John book where I just finally broke. And it was funny because an error came up on my computer that said, error, hyperlink not valid, and I just stared at it. And something went snap. And I just thought, no, I need to just write out everything. I just, I gave God the mother load, and I knew he could deal with it. And I knew it wasn't a place I'd stay. I knew it was just a vent. And and I needed to get it out of the way. And it doesn't mean I didn't go back there from time to time. But
of course. Yeah. We are only human, right? I mean, wow.
Yeah, I kind of have learned to see the Dojo John book starts off with a couple of forewords. One is a sort of a letter. It's a story. It's a fictional story. So I did put some fiction into that of, once upon a time, a girl got what she asked for, because I had wanted a child and I didn't want him to be typical. It's like, okay, the universe heard and they sent me something that I was like, nah, that's not what I asked for. But again, so I wrote something from my perspective as a mother, and then I wrote a second story projecting into my son why he might have come as he is to this earth. And I've decided that he is my celestial social worker, and who's come to wake me up from my own autism, my spiritual autism. So he's autistic himself, among many other things, but he just
he was your
off me.
I was gonna say, he was your crash course in a whole different life, right? A whole different path and a whole different journey.
It's funny you say crash. There's a song by Chris Daughtry called Crashed. And the lyrics are like, and then I crashed into you and I went up in flames. It could have been the death of me, but then you breathed your breath in me. And, it's like, he did. He just, life with him completely undid everything, all my paradigms, and taught me to really come face to face with fear, just face things that I hadn't wanted to face, and to sort of learn to live in the unknown and find that deeper faith of being constantly bombarded with a world you didn't anticipate, didn't necessarily even want, but I so grateful for it. I
Right.
can't not express enough gratitude to him.
I love the sincerity and honesty of what you just said, because anyone who has, well, let's be real, anyone raising children, period.
Yes.
But then you
Yes.
but then you add the next layer of that, the next level of that, when you're raising a child that has, whether it's a disability or just different challenges than what's the typical challenges we go through with raising kids. You know, people, it's almost like, it feels like it's almost, I think that some people feel, parents, they feel like it's almost taboo to admit that they're struggling and that it's hard and that there are days where you just want to throw in the towel and all of those things. And I think it is so helpful for other parents experiencing this type of life, that it's okay to have those feelings. But, you know, you can pull yourself up and through it and have a magnificent life. And, you know, we weren't promised an easy life, right? Like that wasn't part of the promise for us whatsoever. So the account of that, fictionalized or not, is, I think, probably so reassuring and just gives courage to parents who may be facing that.
Well, and that was one thing. People always felt sorry for me. And, oh, I'm sorry this has happened. Oh, you know, and I'm like, you know what? I said, and talking back to what you said, if you're a parent, you've got trouble. You know what I mean? You've got challenges. I mean, you just do. Trials. This is just what mine looked like, because, you know, one of the blessings is, you know, Johnny will never be in gangs. He'll never be into drugs, right? Right. He's a control freak's dream. You know, I control every aspect of his life. Right. But no, I'm kidding. I mean, no, I do. But there are things about life with him that I won't have other challenges that other parents face that are equally, you know, carpet ripping, carpet pulling out. Right. So
I love the reference, by the way. Yeah.
Oh, it was, yeah. It's funny. I used to dream about a person named John prior to getting pregnant. And every John that I knew always showed up in my dreams, and it was always a different person named John. And I'm like, okay, so it's clearly not a person, it's this name John. And so so that's sort of also what lent itself to you know, a deeper meaning and sort of something from the other side, right? Like there's something was going on ahead of time that was preparing me for.
Yeah. And you were smart enough to listen to it. That's amazing. Did you know you were listening? Did you know you were listening? Or
not really? I had no idea it would be a kid. I thought it was going to be some teacher, which happens to be my kid. But,
that's a teacher right there for you, right?
Right. Lessons. For every parent and every foster parent and every adoptive parent, everyone who is raising a child, it's lots to learn, lots to
learn. It's that crash course that we were talking about, right? It's it's, you know, it's something new every day, every week. You learn something new, and then you either have to unlearn something or relearn something, right? It's such a crazy roller coaster of everything parenting. And there's like only, you know, whether you're raising a child or have raised a child who has special needs, or what do they call it? Typical or atypical, right? Whichever one you're raising, there's like this core between all of us, which is we never, ever stop worrying or thinking about our children and you know, wanting to protect them and nurture them and just give them the best life possible. So that's the tie that binds every single parent, no matter what the experience is. And I love your grace in saying that, you know, your challenges were just simply different. You know, and it's not that mentality, which it's very easy to get into the mentality of, well, you don't know what I'm going through. You know, my challenges are harder than yours and my experience is harder than yours. And to actually be able to step back and go, everybody's got them. They're just different. They're just different from each other. And I think that's powerful.
Yeah, that's, I think, like, how can you, I I hate to admit this, but I used to be one of those people that would offer unsolicited advice. And Johnny showed me what I sounded like when people started to offer me their unsolicited advice about, and I'm like, oh, is that what I sounded like? I'm sorry, everybody, I ever did that too.
We all do it because we all, everything is, everybody has such clarity when they're looking across the fence, right? We can see everything that's going on and fix everybody's problems. Like, we just know how to fix everybody's problems. Absolutely. Why don't they just listen to us? Oh,
one of the things too about Johnny is he taught me also to look at others that hurt me as special needs as well. Maybe they're having emotional special needs right there. And I began to, as I learned adaptations with him, I began to try and apply it to to everybody else. And if someone didn't think like me, guess what? That's the way God made them.
Yes. There's
and
a reason
they've got pain, they've got hurt, and you don't have to be in an abusive situation, of course.
Right.
But it helped forgive a lot. And,
What it ends up being such a gift, right? In every possible way. Like the hardest things of your life end up being a gift when you don't even know that they are, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And it's a choice every moment of every day, to see the gift. Because there are days when I think I've got this in one of my forwards, and it is, some days he's just this angelic little boy, other days he's an energy sucking vampire. So
yeah.
But that's kids, right?
That's kids. Yeah.
That's any kid. It's not just
100%. That's so true. How old is he now?
He's 21 now.
Oh yeah. They never stop being our kid, our children. They're not kids, but they're always our children. So no matter what the circumstances, we drive them crazy, they drive us crazy. It's
Absolutely.
Mutually,
it's an interesting it's really actually one of the great things of gratitude about it is being able to I find it interesting how often I can use what I've learned with Johnny to just about any other situation that someone's going through, because it's really, it's just a different story, but it's the same lessons learned. And he's my boy. Oh my goodness, he is.
I love it. I love that. He's my boy. I love that.
Oh yeah, his
Tell me
smile.
a little bit. It stops your heart, right?
Well, when he smiles and laughs, the whole universe laughs with him. It's unfettered, right? There's no, because he's also cognitively delayed, and so there's no
filter, right?
No filter. No.
Yeah. It's a terrifying and wonderful thing at the same time, isn't it?
Yes.
Because it's so genuine. Every emotion is so genuine and so true. Yeah, absolutely. Wow.
And go ahead.
No, I want to hear what you were going to say. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, his differences gave me permission to be different as well. Because we were, when you're out in public and he's grunting like an animal, you're like, hi, yep, that's us.
Yeah.
You just, you get used to not looking like everybody else. You get used to, and that's been such a gift. That's where I was saying earlier about anxiety. I just don't have it anymore with regard to what I think people think about me. And it's a good feeling.
Yeah, it is. Yes, it is. Tremendously so. And I know how hard that is, especially, it's your first child. So you don't have that experience of, kids do what kids do. They're throwing tantrums in the middle of the store. They're acting wild. They're breaking things. They're doing all of the things. And you are that red-faced parent just trying to save face and have some grace and be calm. And, you're gritting your teeth so hard that your jaws hurt. And it's like, and everybody's looking and all of those things. And I remember I was a really young mom. I was just turned 21 when I had my first daughter. And And I was that young mom. I was, a people pleaser, all of the things. So everything was embarrassing to me. And I wish I could go back in time and be the person I am now.
I know, right?
Then,
Totally. Oh,
right?
so many
Because I
things I
probably, yeah. Oh my goodness. So, that 2020 hindsight, right? But yeah, and to be able to say and to look somebody in the eye that's staring or giving a dirty look or something, and do, like you did, hi,
Yeah.
hello, yeah,
Yeah, he's not happy.
yeah, yeah.
But another thing that having him out and about, I get to see people's hearts open up.
Mm-hmm.
Like one of his respite workers once took him to the mall, and he says, pushing someone in a wheelchair is very different than pushing a kid in a stroller. He says, when you're in a crowded place with a stroller, you're all just kind of trying to get through there. And he says, but when you show up with a wheelchair, he said, the Red Sea's part. And I was like,
That's
that
awesome.
is right. Like, people
Yes.
have an extra measure of kindness. And it used to bug me, to be honest, because I felt like they were feeling sorry for me. And I was still in a lot of denial about that I was okay with this when I wasn't. But it was beautiful to see how he actually expanded other people's worlds and hearts. And I began to realize, our culture is so geared towards the intellectual pursuits, how you can contribute in a physical and tangible way. And it's like, yeah, but we need these people like my son, because they contribute intangibly, right? They keep the heart. They keep the heart open if you let it, and balance the intellect and mind, right? And because that's what would make a truly, I think, functional society, is that balance of heart and mind, right? And soul. And anyways.
Yeah, no, that's so true. That's so valuable. And I agree with you so completely. I remember having a conversation with somebody one time. We were talking about a specific person with their child. She was pregnant, and they found out that the child was going to have Down syndrome. And it became, as it always does, this big conversation between people who it's none of your business, but it was a conversation, that what was best for the child, do they go forward? Do they not? All of these things. And I remember just being so sad that it was even a conversation that, like, that, how does, and the comment was, that bothered me was, well, what quality of life will they have? And my response to that was, well, who are we to judge somebody else's quality of life? You're measuring a quality of life based on your standards of what you think quality of life is, and, and value, and what they have to offer. And it's like, oh, no. And this is, such a wonderful proof and example of that this is a quality, this is a contributing quality life, and that's given so much to the world around him. And that goes for every child with special needs, every adult who has grown up with special needs. They are the treasure. They are the treasure. So yeah, I thank you for, for being outspoken about that and sharing your own experience with it. A little bit about the book. Tell me what you want people to take away from this book, Dojo John, and in particular. What would you like for people to take away from this book?
Feel what you're feeling. It's okay to feel what you're feeling. The entry where I lost it, I hesitated whether to put that in or not, but it's like, I used to feel that if I gave in to my anger, I would get sucked into this abyss and never come out. And so that was one of the reasons it took me so long to finally let it all out, because I was afraid of getting trapped there and being angry, because I've not been an angry person. So I gave myself permission to feel what I was feeling. And in my upbringing, you've got to rise above and trust in the Lord and all that stuff. And I felt like I'm not allowed to feel what I'm feeling because I have to rise above it. And I found that trying to counter fearful thoughts with any kind of a thought just kind of threw gasoline on a fire. And that was a huge thing for me with Johnny, was giving myself permission to be real and come out of denial and admit that, you know what? No, Lord, I don't like this. I'm not happy about this. But even though I could see the gift it was, I just had to get that crap out, right?
Yes.
And also it's also, I would say, peace. Johnny was the vehicle of unlearning everything that I ever knew. And I had to let go of clearly, dearly held paradigms. It's surrender. The path to that peace that passes understanding is surrender of your ideas. And that, again, I was feeling like, oh, who will I be? And it's like, well, it's too painful to hold on to what it's been. And I just have to let go and let God in a deeper way, because I just don't know my way through this one. And I don't actually know who I am. I thought I knew who I was, but I don't actually know who I am. And,
Right.
And it was okay. It was okay. Like, this is where I love chatting with people when they're facing their own problems and fears. And just, it's okay. You know, you've got a safe space here. Say what you need to say. If it's the ugliest thing you've ever had, or ugliest thought in your head, just get it out. You know, it's okay. God will still love you. And I love you too, you know, so it's all good. You got to get it out. You got to, so peace and authenticity, I suppose, to be authentic.
That's beautiful. Thank you. Thank you for creating something and putting that out in the world for people who need it, because it will and does clearly resonate with so many people and gives them that reassurance and that comfort that they're seeking. So this is, to me, this is like your own ministry that you're doing, and you're really ministering to so many people by showing the whole picture and not
the ugly bits too, right?
And I think, you know, that is where growth comes from, right? You know, we talk about that with kids in general, that, you know, kids who have been given a cushy, soft life without any strife and struggle usually have the most problems than anyone else, you know, because they don't know how to cope. They don't know how to cope with anything. So it's like you get them, kind of like you said, and I'd like to talk a little bit, if you don't mind, about your upbringing, your growing up, and because it's so fascinating how you went from there, kind of stepped away and then kind of came back full circle to your faith and really connecting on such a deeper level, despite, now correct me if I have this wrong, you grew up as the daughter of a Baptist minister, right? So that upbringing lends to everything that you just said, and somebody who's an outsider to that type of upbringing, I don't know what that looks like. So you gave me a little bit of insight, which really makes perfect sense. It sounds like your faith then, and you please correct me if I'm wrong, it sounds like your faith then was kind of like, not commanded, I hate to use that word, but for lack of a better one at the moment, like almost commanded, like almost expected and automatic to what
it was just going through the motions, right? Just going through the motions. When my dad uprooted us and moved us across the country and left the church that he'd been at for 30, oh no, I guess maybe 20, I don't know, 20 years. And he wanted all his kids, he wanted to baptize all his kids before he left. And so, all right, you know.
Right, sure. Yeah, you just do it, right?
And I knew the words, you know, as I'd grown up with it, I knew what to say. But it was never internalized. It was always something outside of myself and not really understood. I never really, I just went along. I was an agreeable, well, some people might disagree with that.
Listen, I'm not going to let your family members comment in that comment section. I'm going to know exactly who they are.
No, I was, one of the things to, my parents were always busy and they were never home. And so I had a lot of freedom. And so I took full advantage of that. But then when we moved, that was pretty devastating because we moved across the country and had to start all over again. And I adapted and made it my new home. But then 3 years later, my dad took us back across the country, and I was mad.
Yeah,
that was where it's like.
How old were you? How old were you?
I was 13 when we moved the first time, and 16 when we moved the second time.
Yes.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So I was mad, and that was the beginning of a lot of questionable behaviors.
prime ages right there.
Yeah.
Right
but then,
here,
and
yeah,
that was, and so when I moved back to Toronto, I remember thinking, well, who am I without the influence of my family? What does God look like when I'm not hearing the jargon, the religious jargon? And and then of course Grandpa died, and that was like, okay, well, we're going to find out. I mean, I didn't say that to myself, but that's kind of what happened. That's where it all started. And it was, I don't, as far as growing up a preacher's kid, couldn't wear jeans, couldn't go to movies, couldn't.
None of those were all no.
I didn't understand.
Yeah.
And I broke every single one of them. So I wore jeans.
Rebel.
I know. It's in conversations with my sister, we have very different recollections of the same experience.
Okay.
And I find that interesting.
Yeah. So big age difference between you?
Just 3 years. Okay. Yeah. But because my parents were away at the time, my sister was older, and she ended up having to be the caregiver. So there was a different responsibility expected of her than there was for me. And I took full advantage of that too.
I think you and I might be almost the same person in some way. I have an older brother. That's the difference. Approximate same age difference. And yes, I was trouble. I was trouble. I really love hearing journeys like this. And I hear this often from whether they're preachers' kids or just kids that grew up, adult kids, I should say, adults who grew up in especially religious homes. And I hear so often that they grew up super, super religious household. Then when they got to a certain age, usually like the teenage years, right, that they stepped completely away from it, wanted nothing to do with it. I'm not suggesting that you wanted nothing to do with it. I don't know. But they stepped very much away from that. And then in some point in their adulthood came back around and almost like reintroduced themselves to a relationship with God and saw it in a very different and truly wonderful light. And I just find that really, really fascinating and actually just really heartwarming to hear that they came back to God and built that relationship with Him rather than with religion or religiosity, right?
Yeah, it was growing up, I was never allowed to, if I had questions, it was just a Bible verse quoted back to me. And that didn't mean anything to me. I was like, okay, I'll go elsewhere for my emotional support. I mean, I grew up in a loving family, don't get me wrong, but it's what they knew. It's how they grew up, my parents. And I'm very grateful to have had the foundation and to come back to it. But yeah, you're pushed and you're compressed and you're, when you're so young and vibrant and, ready to explode with life, and it's like,
tamp that all right down.
I had my best friend growing up, her parents would actually let her have a sip of beer, and I know I was like, or a sip of wine at Christmas or something when she was quite young. And I thought, I wonder, and she never did what I did, that I'm aware of anyways. And I just thought, there's something to be said for not making it out of someone's reach, perhaps. If it's something they grow up with and they're used to, they might not go off the rails as soon as they can.
Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly. So true. So true.
I think a lot has changed.
Yeah.
I think a lot has changed since I grew up, where I think parents are a little more pastoral parents, I guess. I can't speak for regular parents, but I see a lot more emotional support there and more open-mindedness about real life dilemmas and real life as things are changing around us. And, you asked about the message of the book, both books, the same thing would be discover who you are. My motto in life is a paraphrase of Matthew 6:33, where it says, seek ye first the kingdom of heaven. I was at this same beach where this grove of trees, the wind changed sound. And I was, somebody asked me, said, if you could only ever give one piece of advice to anyone, I'm like, just one? No.
One?
What would it be? And it was, this just came right into my head, was be the child of God you are. The rest will fall into place. And I realized that was a paraphrase of seek ye first, because really, without that, you're living in a fog.
Yes. Yeah.
Like there's so much in life that tries to steer us away from that knowledge and rediscover the spark of God that you are, your creation that he made you to be. So, and then start making big decisions. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but you're so right. You're so right. Because, once you know whose you are, not who you are, once you know whose you are, you stand up a little taller, right?
Yes.
Like it changes not only, of course, it changes your worldview profoundly. It changes your self-view, because you're a child of God. And like, what's greater than that? Now you have this whole different value system. And, I just, there's nothing greater.
Instead of living life from the outside in, worrying about what everybody else is thinking of you, you're living life from the inside out.
Yeah. What a great way to say that. Yeah,
it's absolutely a much more stable place to be.
Yes. Oh my goodness. Don't you? It brings us right back to our little, wanting to give advice or tell people what to do, to improve their lives thing. Like, oh my gosh, I just want to.
Just don't ask me to apply it to myself.
Right? Yeah. No, please don't ask that. Come on. Let's not get carried away. I can tell you. But yeah, it does make you just want to like shake people like, oh, there's a whole wonderful, beautiful experience. It's just like, it's there for your taking. Like it's right there for you to just have. All you have to do is receive it. And it's so beautiful. Everybody has to come to that in their own time, in their own way. I totally get it. But I still want to shake them.
It's like, you know what? They'll get it one day because you run out of options at some point.
You do. That's so true.
And where else do you go?
Yeah. I want to ask you, last thing I want to ask you about is, I think it's so cool that you brought all of this, all of your experiences and all of your learning. And again, doing this thing that you do, Beth, you take it and you put it into others, which is such a phenomenal thing. And I just want to hug you for it. You are, I'm giving you a virtual hug. You're a Reiki practitioner and now a heartist.
Oh, yes.
Explain that. Tell me.
Sorry, no, go ahead. Finish your question.
Yeah, no. Yeah, just tell me about that. Explain what that means and what is. I honestly don't know much about Reiki, so feel free to like give a little overview.
Yeah, Reiki, I've always been drawn to. But again, with my upbringing, I was kind of, stay away from that. It's not, but what I learned is that it's just like hands-on prayer in a sense. And we are energetic beings. We are people. Yeah. We are energy in motion. And we don't just have physical bodies, but we have a whole body of emotions and a whole body of thought as well. And what I've kind of come down to with the Reiki is it's kind of like an energetic massage.
Okay.
Because, like our muscles in our physical body, our minds get, and so you just come in by the power of the Holy Spirit. Like it's something that I'm not, I don't describe it the way Reiki practitioners describe it. I just do my own thing with it. I've just come to see it as a smoothing. Like if you're stressed out and whatnot, you just kind of feel above and you can feel the energy and you can feel where there's nothing because maybe something's blocked, or maybe, and you just, it's really about just pouring divine love into someone. And
that's beautiful.
And making the and just smoothing it out. And so far, the people that I've given it to have said good things. So
I love
they seem to like it.
That sounds so lovely. Who could not like that? That's so beautiful.
Yeah, it's not necessarily like a hands-on thing. Sometimes you might touch a spot on someone's body, or you might not. I tend not to. So it's not when I say massage, it's it's not you're not actually.
Okay. No, I get it. Yeah, that's fascinating. That's really interesting. I love that, and it sounds lovely.
It really, and you just listen to beautiful music. Anyways, I love giving a treatment because I get it too.
I was going to say that puts you right in that space. It's like, it's almost like being in your prayer closet or something, right? It's like,
just and dragging someone in with you.
Yeah, nice. Come on, you're coming with.
Yeah, come on. Yeah. And the hardest part is, hardest, not hardest, is, I've never known what I like, since you're a little kid. What are you going to do when you grow up? What are you going to be? What do you want to do? What college do you want to go to? What do you want to learn? It's like, I don't know. I don't know. There's nothing that's pulling me or drawing me. The closest thing would have been a nurse, maybe, but I just never pursued post-secondary. And what I discovered is that, I could just love. Love is my calling, and God has made that doable. But then it's not even necessarily like you can work anywhere and just bring love to every moment. Right. And really is what it boils down to is what love does this moment call for? And sometimes I fall flat on my face and I don't respond, but I do remind myself and come back to it. And so it's just living from the heart.
That's beautiful.
One of the most fascinating things I ever heard was that, and I never realized this, is that when we are conceived, the first organ that is developed is the heart. It's not the brain. And so that is our connection from God, is through the heart. And so if I can cultivate that within myself and help people cultivate it within themselves, then hey, I'm doing my thing.
It's just phenomenal. That's just phenomenal. I'm so glad I got to sit and talk with you today. This was so special.
Thank you, Elsa. So am I.
Thank you. Tell everyone where they can find your books.
They are on Amazon. The Letters to Heaven, you have to type in my last name as well, Harris, Harris, when you're doing a search on Amazon, because there are several books apparently that are called Letters to Heaven. So,
okay.
This is what the Letters to Heaven book looks like.
Beautiful.
Sorry, we've got a bit of a glare there.
No, there you go. Perfect.
Yeah.
And I will definitely put the links in the show notes for everybody too, so they can click right on it.
The Dojo John. For some reason, if you don't put in my last name on that as well, you might get men's underwear.
Listen, somebody might need them.
I don't know.
I mean, somebody might be in need of them, so they'll win on all sides, right? They'll get some men's underwear, and then they'll go get the book. It'll be all good. They'll be covered. They'll have everything they need.
Yeah, I remember I saw them. I'm like, what? Well, yeah, okay. If you type Harrison in, Harris in as well, then yeah.
That's okay. Listen, with a name like Elsa, anytime somebody puts my name into Amazon, the Frozen comes up. So it's like,
right.
Yeah,
that's right.
So, yeah.
It did for me too when I was looking.
You were like, who is this crazy lady? Wait, she's Elsa from Frozen? What?
No, you're beautiful like she is.
Elsa from Frozen. See, now I just love you even more. Oh, this was such an absolute joy to have you on. Thank you again so much. And I just look forward to reading your books and sharing them with our audience. And like I said, they'll be in the show notes for everyone. But I hope with your next book, because I'm sure there's got to be a next one coming some point, right?
Well, maybe that'll be the Letters from Heaven when I reach that state of supreme bliss. I don't know.
There you go. Right? Oh my! I want the first copy. Oh dear. There people be fighting for that one, but
yeah. Well.
Oh, all right, guys. Thank you all for watching. We will see you guys in the next episode. Take care.
Thank you for all being here today. Thank you, Elsa.
Absolutely. You're so welcome. Thank you. Bye-bye.
From small-town love stories to battles of truth and loyalty, Elsa Kurt's books follow the same heartbeat. Ordinary people facing extraordinary moments. You'll find romance, drama, second chances, even a peek behind the microphone in her newest release. Multiple genres, different worlds, same thread. Bold truth,